Hey fellow vault dwellers, it's Angry Turtle and we are taking another look on the Circuit Breaker in 2026. It was a long time ago it was released and we had some fun with it back then, but how is it now? And in case you are new, everything you need to know about the Circuit Breaker. A unique weapon actually at this moment available in Atomic Shop. First, if you did purchase it and you are trying to craft it, you will find it under Weapon Workbench and then Energy Weapons. Yes, it does look like a 10mm pistol, but it is Energy Gun, Circuit Breaker, available from level 10 up to level 50. I do have one already here. Several options for the receivers. Doesn't change too much. Mainly the extra fire rate. I went with true, as for some reason the ones with extra fire rate, I don't know if that's a new bug or I was just unlucky. With first receiver, the effect with the last bullet didn't want it to go off. Could have been just unlucky, I don't know. I end up with all true, which again doesn't matter too much. If I'm using it, it's either in VATS or I'm using it without firing it at all, so not very important. Align grip to reduce AP cost. The magazine I could go with large, but I do want to be on the last bullet a lot, so I cannot go with large. The glow sight is reducing AP cost, so we go with that. The muzzle cannot be changed, as that's the unique piece of this 10mm pistol that suddenly makes it a fusion cell weapon. As it still looks like 10mm pistol, and it kind of is, just using fusion cells. Effects are fixed. There are several paints. The blackout paint, of course, the coolest one. That's the standard. Then there is a diamond. That is the worst one, I think. And, oh yeah, poker paint. Okay, two worst ones. Diamond, poker, blackout best, regular circuit breaker. Not bad at all. What it does. Armor piercing effect on it. Reload speed on it. And the fun part. Successful final round shot will create an energy blast that deals damage and stuns enemies within 50 feet. I'm not sure if they meant 50 feet or 50 TD units. That's half of a feet, the TD unit, that all weapons, like the range on weapons, is in TD units, which are about half a feet. So it's not the same thing. Stunned enemies will be immune to being stunned again for 10 seconds, but the stun effect will pop off again. It can be triggered frequently, and it does a little bit of damage. Now, there are some really cool tricks. We'll need to find enemies to demonstrate that, how it works normally, and what the tricks are. Let's find some enemies. In case of my build, I'm on my Dom Pedro build, but I did couple tweaks to test this circuit breaker. I will revert that later. One important, I unequip Wild West hands, because when instant reload do happen, the special circuit breaker effect will not trigger. For special effect to trigger, there need to be 0 bullets in it. So maybe let's shoot some out. And didn't trigger again. Okay, so this seems to be buggy regardless what receiver I'm using. It's supposed to trigger on one last bullet. So it seems to be very buggy now. It's supposed to. I get it to trigger several times. Okay, let's try to get only one bullet. Maybe it's a distance, maybe it's a server lag if I'm further away. Still nothing. Okay, not triggering. So it is more buggy than I anticipated, and now it should be the effect. And there is none. You're able to see the effect from Ricochet pop for a moment. The damage, if you wonder, that's the damage. It can kill stuff. It's not the most powerful gun. It can kill stuff. Now, to keep 0 ammo, I will fire and bash. I bash to stop the reload. Now I have 0 ammo. And then you were already able to see once when the super mutant hit me, Ricochet triggered, and that triggered the effect. And now it didn't, because it's limit. Like, recently, only once per enemy, Ricochet can trigger a circuit breaker effect. Let's see if this guy can still trigger it. Try it. No, cannot. But we can trigger it manually by bashing. Oh, there it is. First bash didn't trigger. But that's the effect. So unfortunately, it's a little bit buggy this time around. I don't know what's causing it, but it doesn't always trigger. Another way to trigger it, if you have zero ammo, look at that. If I toss a grenade, there we go. So I have explosion of the grenade and circuit breaker effect triggering. It's very unfortunate it's not triggering as often as it's supposed to be. Supposed to trigger more often, supposed to trigger when you are shooting the last bullet, and it doesn't, at least not always. Sometimes it does. Now the ricochet worked. The ricochet worked, limited to once per enemy, so it will not trigger on the same one again. But there is more cool stuff. Okay, let's shoot those guys. I need different ones to show you more. So I like this effect. Like the special effect when you melt them. This is the cool part. If you pop with this gun, everyone will notice that something special is indeed happening when you will be running around with circuit breaker. The but's accuracy is not awesome. You need to be relatively close even when with perks. Decent damage overall for the soft enemies like super mutants, ghouls, and so on. Will not perform amazingly in Ohio. Then the new map area, Burning Springs, Ohio, it will be low damage to fight all the ground hunts and headhunts. You could if you really wanted to, but your damage will be subpar. So that's definitely not the highest damage gun. Now, you could notice that I do have this pain train, and that's because that's another way you can use to trigger this effect. I will put on my Union Power Armor. To have some damage with just one rank of Pain Train, all you need to do is install Tesla Bracers. So damage will not be great, that's not a Choo-Choo Power Armor, and I intentionally equip only one rank of the Pain Train just to demonstrate the power of the combination of Pain Train with Circuit Breaker with zero ammo. So we need to shoot it out and bash to prevent the reload, and now find some ghouls. Barrows south. Now I will change the view. We'll run around to attract some of the ghouls. Some I may accidentally hit already as I'm running. Look at that. Those are the circuit breaker explosion. Okay, we'll slow down. I don't want to pop them all just yet. I want a little bit more to run through them for a better effect. Did one just randomly die? I think it did, indeed. Now we will get a little bit more of them. I move the camera as far away from my character as it is possible. So hopefully you will be able to see some of those effects. There is a nice crowd incoming. Nice crowd. And now we sprint through them. That's the fire show. And I managed to get some to survive. That's one more. It is blinding, I know. A lot of flashes going on. Fun factor? Yeah, I would say it is there, like fun factor. Occasionally you could use it. What else carry to Pain Tray? You can probably guess, but anti-armor effect does carry over to the Pain Train, helping it do a little bit more damage. I do have a full Pain Train build and explaining all the Pain Train mechanics, so that's unrelated. But here it is, Circuit Breaker. Its unique stun effect that can be triggered on many ways. And the best use case for Circuit Breaker, unfortunately, is still to carry it and never reload and use it with grenades or Pain Train or something else to trigger its special effect, is because when you fire it, so often now fails to register. It was not bugged out last time I was using it, which was a couple years ago. It was working with the last bullet. I have no idea what has happened. Now it's sometimes working, sometimes doesn't. As I did get it to work, like before I started recording, and then it stopped again while firing. Why? I have no clue. Just another bug on the list. This one related to Circuit Breaker. So that's definitely a fun weapon. I will put it in fun category. It's not a must-have. It's not the highest DPS. there is no practical use case that will be requiring you to keep it as your sidearm. But that being said, fun nevertheless. Let me know what you think. Thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.